Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. I just did a client session, which was a lot of fun. So
That's huge. That's huge. I love that. Um, yeah, well, okay, so usually I do like a really minimal grounding meditation, but
mm,
I am practicing this other grounding meditation for my group Reiki session coming up. And so I was wondering, do you have a set amount of time? Do you only have 45 minutes or?
no, I'm totally flexible.
Okay, cool. So I was hoping to practice this grounding meditation with you first.
Yeah, of course.
And like I may fumble over some words. The goal is not to, of course, but yeah, so if I could practice that with you leading
Yeah,
into the session, that would be awesome. Um, yeah, and then during the Reiki session, I've noticed people get pretty distracted. So sometimes I'll cover the screen because I do have a visualization of your body right here.
mm,
Um, and so I just want to give you a fair warning that that may come up. But
yeah,
don't worry, it's about being in your own energy and feeling the Reiki energy flow through. Um, but yeah, so I'm pretty excited to get into it. I know you said your solar plexus chakra
mm,
and digestive system you would like me to focus on. So I'll keep that in mind. And yeah, I mean, we can get right into it.
fantastic. I'm really excited. Well, thank you so much for this. I've only had a one Reiki session before, and yeah, I'd love to experience it. Thank you.
Really? Was the one Reiki session you had in person or distance?
No, it was distance. It was from my friend Gil, native New Yorker, over in New York. He did it.
Oh,
Just it was a couple of years ago now. So, and he was just getting started. But it was really magical.
oh, sweet. Yay, that's awesome. Yeah, I also might mute myself because my phone might vibrate. I don't want you to get distracted. So
Yeah,
after the meditation starts, or after I walk you through the grounding meditation, I might cover the screen and mute as well. That way you're
yeah,
just fully in your own presence. And I know you mentioned not that it really matters, it's up to you, but you're not having any meditation music on, just gonna be in your own
yeah.
presence. Right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy with silence.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. That's unique. That's very unique. But yeah, okay, let's get right into it. Um, I think I'm actually going to start with a little bit of sound bowl healing before the meditation. And just focus on the rhythm of your natural breath. Don't change the pace of it at all. Just focus on how it flows naturally, giving you life. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. And on the inhale, just inhale everything related to gratitude. And on the exhale, with a deep sigh. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And let this last one be your greatest one, your deepest one. Inhale all positive energies. And exhale all negative. And as you focus on the natural rhythm of your breath, I would like you to visualize a white light beaming down from the source above. And as this white light beams down and you take a breath in, you notice this light enter your crown chakra. And your crown chakra becomes oscillating in a deep purple color and a violet color. And it's a reminder that you are divinely connected and supported. And as you breathe deeper, this white light breathes into your third eye chakra, where you're reminded to be connected to your intuition. You are intuitively guided along the way. And this chakra is oscillating a deep indigo color. And as you breathe deeper into your throat chakra, you're reminded that you are connected to your voice, to speak honestly in your work, and to speak up. And this chakra is oscillating in a bright blue color. And as you breathe deeper into your heart chakra, it's this oscillating, the white light becomes this oscillating green emerald color, maybe a gemstone even. And as it's oscillating, it's reminding you to be compassionate to yourself and to be compassionate to others. And as you breathe deeper, this white light digs into your solar plexus chakra, becomes this oscillating yellow color. And as it oscillates, it's reminding you to walk confidently and speak confidently and remember your own power. And as you breathe deeper, this white light goes into your sacral chakra. And it becomes this oscillating orange gem or ball. And as it's oscillating, it's reminding you that it is safe to express yourself emotionally, creatively, and always. And as you breathe deeper, this white light enters your root chakra at the base of your spine. And you are reminded that you are safe and grounded as it's oscillating this red, deep red color. And as you breathe even deeper, all parts of your body are growing roots into the earth, connecting you with Mother Gaia, connecting you with the earth below, all forms of nature. And as your roots dig deeper and deeper into the earth, you may notice that they're writing your name, or you could write your intentions for the year moving forward. Possibly self-love, abundance, initiation. And as your roots dig deeper and deeper into the earth, they go through all layers of the earth, and it hits the core of the earth, and your roots wrap around the core of the earth, vibrating with Mother Earth and her energy. And eventually, Mother Earth's energy electrifies your energy, and a bright red orange color shoots up through those roots, through the name, through your name, through the intentions, all the way up through your spine, all the way out your crown chakra. And as it spews out your crown chakra like a volcano, you are covered in a white light, in an opaque blanket, reminding you that you are protected and surrounded by light and love. I am now going to call in Reiki energy and start the session.
magic.
It's like
Um,
every little hiccup.
can I share with you what I experienced?
Yes, please, please. Sorry, I feel like I startled you a little.
No, not at all, not at all. Um, wow, it was incredible. It's such a roller coaster, and I was hoping as I was going through it that I would remember it all. Um, so when like your grounding, that process you went through, like I could feel like you had this, um, I could see like this energetic bubble around you, and you felt quite self-conscious about your energy. Um, and but I could feel like this really, as I felt in our session for you, like you're really powerful and really gifted. Um, and you, as soon as you started going through the chakras, that all felt really good. And then you grounded into earth, and I think just at the moment when we were coming back up from Gaia, it felt like fireworks were like going off, like, and I'm not sure, I phased out about what you were saying because I was so immersed in this release of energy, and I was like going through the like these intentions you were setting. Like I was feeling like, yeah, abundance, and I was like, yeah, this is my year. This is my year of stepping into my power truly, like for the whole of me. Um, and as you started, um, as you like the screen went blank, we we were sat, you and I were sat in many dimensions and lifetimes all at once. And it was a practice that we were used to doing. Like every time that we do this together in different lifetimes, every lifetime where we've done it connects at the same time. And so the first I was shown was they were on the Galactic Federation ship, and that I was your teacher, but you were showing me what you'd learned. And um, and then I was also shown us in Japan, and it was like both, at least two lifetimes. There was multiple lifetimes just at the same time, and so each lifetime coming aware of each other, and like sat opposite each other like we are just now. And there was like this apprehension in you, which was like, that every time you get to my solar plexus, that there was this lack, and I didn't really know what it was. And you were showing me um, that first of all, it was shown as like I saw this negative entity attached to me. So I saw that, and I saw you like looking at it, and you're like, that needs to go. And like it's like together we were moved in. It kind of looked like this little kind of black octopus thing. And I was asking myself, like, why couldn't I see that? Why wasn't I able to clear that earlier today? And it was like it in part had my permission from what I consume, like from food. And then it was also from it was multidimensional. And so it wasn't super clear to me which dimension it sat in. Anyway, we got rid of that. Um, and then you were like, you were showing me this as we went further down, as we got to solar plexus. You're like John, but it wasn't the name you gave me. You're like, you're always looking for that lost love. And I said, I can't find her soul. Like I've lost her soul. And you were saying, there's no such thing. You can never lose his soul. And and then I felt like this kiss on my lips, and I was like, who is that? And I was shown like many different women in my life, and it was my loved one that I had lost in previous lives. She was saying, I returned to source. Like I'm part of source. I'm part of everyone now. I'm part of you. I'm part of everyone. I'm part of every woman, part of every man. And there was just this really beautiful, like universal healing in that. Like I felt like I no longer need to search for that missing part of me, that lost love. Um, and then I saw this sword. Did you work at all with like a sword during this?
A sword, um, to cleanse your aura, maybe my selenite
Okay, yeah.
wand.
Yeah, I saw it
Mm-hmm.
white, and I saw it like to begin with, I saw it in me, and I was looking at it. It's like, what's a sword doing in me? And I saw it as like a samurai sword, and I took it out, and it was from the lifetime where I lost my love, and I'd like committed suicide. So it was more like symbolic. So I took that out, and then I was just being shown that there's this there was this missing part of me, like my like a very white light version of me, like my higher self. And I just saw it like wandering, almost like wandering the forests of England a few hundred years ago. But it was an incarnation, and I was just being shown, oh, this is what happens. You dress up like that, John, to look like a ghost to people, and I just kind of wandered the land, but I had like, it was like where many of my gifts were hiding, and I was like in that version of me in that lifetime, almost like caught between dimensions. And so it's like, now it's time to return. And so with that, the um the sword was brought back to me. It's like, it's my sword to hold again, and that part of me reintegrated. And then I think towards the end, I felt like every shift, I felt every chakra you were working on,
Mm.
like so vividly. And then when and towards the end, I could feel you like switching into like, I don't know anything about Reiki other than that it's energy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the sequence that you were following at the end felt like waves, like just blowing through me. Um, and yeah, I just felt this really beautiful clearing and cleansing, and such a vivid, far more vivid than I expected. Like, I didn't really, wasn't consciously seeking to have this story, this journey played to me, but it was so deeply powerful and really soul touching. Thank you so much.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, your session was a little bit unique compared to others that I've done. Um, Usually, like it's crazy you say the sword because usually I only utilize this at the very end of the session.
Yeah.
But I did utilize it once in the middle of your session and a couple times at the end. It's like it kept because like I'm intuitively guided by the Reiki energy, right?
Yeah.
And so I kept basically like being like, oh, okay, I think we're done now. It's
Mm.
that was enough.
Yeah.
And then like it would be like, no, it wasn't, and it'd come back. And so the waves, that's really
Yeah.
interesting.
That's so cool.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
It
that's
was so
awesome.
powerful. I felt like right from the start, you have a very calming, very powerful energy, and it's like you're continuing to build your confidence in your ability to hold that energetic space. And and I was also shown for you, because I often wonder, why do I have friction against learning things like Reiki? It took me a while. Now I'm like studying reflexology, um, and and also mindful. I became a mindfulness teacher, and it's like,
Mhm.
until very recently, I had a huge amount of friction from learning anything through others. Um, and so I was asking that about, like, I understood that about myself, or what about you? And I just heard that you were parts of the development of Reiki. And
Mhm.
one of your challenges now is that you're, like, in this lifetime, like, it's changed quite a bit, and it's not entirely what you set up and set out to do. And some of those things that you feel like you're forgetting are things that didn't exist, that, for good or bad, right or wrong, true to its origins or not, have just changed. And I thought that was really beautiful, like, to see that you've already mastered this and developed it in previous lives, and now you're
Mhm.
you're bringing it back and relearning it in this lifetime, and you'll make it your own, perfectly your own.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, on that note, and then we'll get back to more about you and what came through for me. But on that note, the Reiki, it actually came through. A couple years back, I took some psychedelic mushrooms with a friend, and she let me know, and we are very, very connected on a soul level. And at one point and this was the only time we had ever done this together. And at one point during, the trip, she was like illuminated by my aura. And it was this rainbow aura, which is interesting with the rainbows and everything. It's been a whole theme for me this year, but also my guide. But yeah, this rainbow aura, and she was just like taken away by it. And the next day after, she looked it up and she sent a screenshot of it to me of what this aura meant, because she saw it out of my, like, shining out of my head and out of my hands. And it said Reiki Master. It said starseed and Reiki Master. And that is why I delved into this. So it was all very fate, and yeah, so, and I've felt like I have done this and been a part of it in a past life. I feel very connected to it. But it's nice to hear that, to be reassured by you too, that you saw that as well. Reassurance is always so grateful. I'm always so grateful for that, So thank you for reiterating that.
That's so amazing. Thank you for sharing that. That's
yeah.
Really
yeah.
and
Also,
it's so powerful how it comes back into this lifetime. Such a dramatic display, right? Like, hey, literally, here I am, and here's a photo.
No, totally. And I'm so like, well, and my Reiki master who attuned me, I actually met her at a festival years ago, and neither of us were on this path. And then she reached out to me like a year after and was like, hey, how are you? And I let her know that I was into practicing Reiki. And she was like, no way, I'm a Reiki practitioner. And then it just went forward from there. So it was all just like the universe was lining it up for me. And then last thing I want to share is my friend who I did this trip with, and she told me about the Reiki, the aura that she saw. I recently saw her over the weekend, and to prep for these distance sessions, I have a specific, like, they suggest a specific diet, right? And it's not strict, you're not supposed to restrict yourself, but I did it by the book. I stuck to raw foods and very light foods, and she really had an opinion about it, right? And so it was like, even though she had an opinion, I still felt very grounded in my work and knew what was right for me. But it was just interesting to see the same person in this lifetime who reintroduced Reiki to me or brought it to my attention is still gonna have her judgments. You know what I mean? Yeah. And not everyone will be able to, like, understand your full journey, So it was really that was really powerful for me. You just brought that all up, so I wanted to share that all with you. But I do have
That's fabulous. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I felt like you'd gone to a lot of work, a lot of effort to work on your energy before this session, and I just want to acknowledge that. Like, it's like our energy, our, like, having clear energy is hard, right? It's like a day job in itself in this world.
totally.
From everything that we consume, from our food to what we watch on TV to our social media to who we say things to, what we think about people. It is really hard, and it's never going to be perfect. But I was very aware that you're like, I took an energetic shower, like, to come to this, and I'm I'm coming prepared. So
yeah, of course. Yeah, no, thank you for being grateful for that. Because I mean, I don't imagine it's always going to need to be this way, but I had two distance sessions today, and I just really wanted to make sure that I was grounded in my energy and had, that I was ready to hold this space,
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, but a lot of stuff came up on my end. Well, some stuff. Don't want to say a whole lot, but couple affirmations. Yeah, all of your chakras were very balanced. You're clearly doing a lot of work on them. The solar plexus, I gave a lot to that because you requested, and actually some affirmations came up with the solar plexus. One of them was, I walk with pride in my soul alignment. It's pretty simple. I walk with pride in my soul alignment. And then I have confidence in trusting my intuition. I think there's a little more I can add to that for you. Possibly I have confidence in trusting my intuition in every aspect of my journey.
Yeah. That resonates completely.
Cool.
The first one is I just see everything as so clearly as a journey, as a story. And yeah, I love that walking, that journey. The intuition is I'm finding myself super high and happy when I do a client session that is like yours was just I feel amazing. And I did one later that day and it's amazing. And then 2 days later, my client was completely silent all the way through and didn't really say anything right at the end. And I just was I guess I was so triggered by it. I was like, what did I do wrong? And they just didn't want to talk. And then 3-4 days later, they just wrote me this really, really beautiful testimonial. Which I was really touched by. And then I was like, why am I being triggered? Why am I questioning my intuition? And even if all this is just completely made up and it's all complete fantasy, I should be okay and confident in myself to trust myself. This is a really magical adventure, a really beautiful journey, and to trust in myself that that this is real.
Yeah, it is. It's dense. It's dense. There's a lot to it, So kind of just recognizing how far you've come and celebrating you for that. And like I said for myself earlier too, not everyone's going to understand every single part of the journey or right away even, but as long as you have that true belief and trust in yourself, the magic is always going to happen. It's always going to be there. So yeah, of course.
At the end of the session with that last client, I was just I saw another version of me, which was just still so excited at the end of the session, even though they said nothing. I was just that was amazing. Thank you so much. And I felt actually it was an incredible session. It was a lot of depth. And I think that was maybe part, some of that density and complexity to it is that actually just trusting my intuition also means that when I experience something really magical, it's okay for me to share that truth but just whilst being conscious of, my clients and looking after them and not being too jarring if they're really not happy and I'm super happy. But at the same time, just feel, a lot of it's just about that inner feeling. And thank you for those two affirmations.
Yeah, of course. And also another thing that came up when you were talking about that is other people's possibly sensitivity levels, because energy work can be so intense. And I'm not sure about that client specifically, but maybe it was their first time doing a session like that, and so it's probably took them a couple days to just full come around whoa, what does this all mean, Yeah,
Yeah,
but I'm speaking to you while I'm speaking to myself too. You know what I mean?
it's really true. I actually ended up doing, it was not what they booked, but I ended up doing a soul fragment retrieval in their session, and they hadn't done anything like this for 15 years. I knew that they had done some similar work. So we basically went to like the lower levels of hell and found that parts of our soul and brought it back and went through the integration. And I was through that night, the night before, I was chatting a lot with her guide saying, I'm not sure this is like such a great idea for such a, you know, for like a first session together. And they're like, she's ready and it's got to be this way. Like she's got to go through it. And I was like, wow, okay, sure. So yeah, I think that's a really good, because I kept questioning myself afterwards, like, should I have just been more gentle? Should I have just like not done that? Should I have just, done all the easy way, which would be like, let's just have a friendly chat and a coffee, and maybe meditate for a few minutes. But it's like, no, it's not. It wouldn't have been as helpful for her. And that's just one session. I'm sure at least half my sessions have something like a negative entity removal or soul retrieval, or they're dramatic too. And yeah, there is an integration for both the client and then for me as well. Often like just adjusting my my mental models and understanding of the universe and what's possible, what's not, and how I can best help serve as I learn.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a journey, It
Yes.
is. I also read your cards and a lot. I don't know if you want me to share that as well or
Yeah, I love
soon.
that. Yeah, please. Thank you.
But that actually usually I start from the beginning and I will, but that related to, I did a mind, body, and spirit read, and that
Yeah.
related a lot to the spirit. It came up the firefly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
I've never seen a firefly.
oh, me neither. So,
Yeah.
I know, but compared to your other cards, like the firefly, like it was the frog for the mind, and then it was the fish for the body, and the firefly for the spirit. So if you notice, the firefly is very like, there's a lot more like fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spark. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. No, exactly. But yeah, it relates to the firefly, like is a reminder to like, because it's a firefly, so it has a light. So it's a reminder to like fine tune all of those, all of your practices. You're in this element, but it's a reminder to fine tune all of those. And I wrote notes down too. Yeah, and fine tune all of your core beliefs, and the community will come along with that, right?
Yeah.
But that was like the main, I guess, full takeaway from that card. But I'm just gonna I'm gonna read over my notes for them. For the frog specifically being your mind, you're in your mind, you're taking that leap, you're detoxing, you're cleansing. It's a new identity, and frogs can like clear of this toxic energy, right? That's prevalent on your mind. And yeah, purity on all levels, like spiritually, mentally, physically, all levels, right? And tying the frog and the fish together, they're both water elements. So purifying, cleansing, they both really tie together in that way. Specifically for the fish really reminded me too of your, how you were talking about working through your digestive tract and all of that. Because it talks like, it's like the fish, it swims in the water. It's what's happening beneath the surface, right? So the frog is above and it's like aware, your mind, but the fish is like below, what's really happening within, what's happening beneath the surface. Focus on your health, and let's see. Yeah, another thing that came up is like allowing flow for your subconscious, like allowing
Mm.
that flow for your subconscious to, kind of just be freely heard.
I
um,
love that. Yeah. Yeah,
and the
definitely, that
last,
definitely resonates.
yeah, and the last thing that came through with the fish is like resonating with your sacred truth as you swim deeper and deeper into the depths of the ocean.
Mhm.
Um, And then, so I thought that was really beautiful how they connected with the water elements being above and below. And then the firefly, it's almost like a burst of energy out spiritually, you know. It's like fireflies illuminate the dark sky and also being part of a community. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's talking about stepping into your truth because your community will arise with that as well.
Wow. That's all fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought when you were talking about the frog, you like I have a a frog spirit guide called Kinterman, and he's like my inner child. Like whenever I've gone a day or two or three with like not really doing like embracing joy or fun, like he's back and he's like, John, like go crazy, like go and have some fun, go back out on your skateboard or whatever it is that you do that you really enjoy. And yeah, there's definitely that mental leap that I'm going through.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that. It talks about the frog is like relating to exploration of past lives as well as your inner child. So that is
Mm.
crazy.
It's
It's
so
like they
cool.
are, yeah, that's super cool. And then also, sorry, one more thing about the firefly too is it's about giving permission for you to ignite your gifts.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
once again, ground like making you feel safe and secure in that sense. Like fireflies are so cool. Like,
It's
you
so cool.
know?
I yeah, I felt like the fish was is so powerful, like you said it so clearly that the like what's going on under the surface, like what's going on inside, because I have such, I build such routine in my life. I have like I'm always meditating no matter where I am. I'm always like writing a song. I'm always like doing the things, but um they don't always address, what's going on inside. And it's easy for me. Like my superpower is my, tenacity and routine. And then it's also my weakness. And because it that rigidity can it's much easier for me to forget about something. Like, oh, be quiet. I know you're struggling, but you'll be fine. Just meditate and drink some water. Um, and I felt like the that fluidity, that intuition, even today, like I was, as I get over this, like I heal from this cough, um, I still want to like create lots of content and talk lots and share a lot about my journey. But what I do now is practice a bit more like between creation. I just pause for a moment and I listen to my intuition. And it's like, is it actually enough now? And is it like, am I really loving myself? Is it, if I really love myself, what would I do next?
Mhm.
And that's really helping me just pause for a moment before I like dive into the next thing. And the firefly is just so powerful. All the things you said, the honing and fine tuning, like I feel a lot of that. Like I feel like my knowledge and wisdom has grown like breadth-wise exponentially. But I'm like, but not necessarily out of my own desire to learn, but I do really resonate with the the fine tuning, the honing. And I just the last client session before we came on today, um, their guide was like, be so gentle, be so sensitive. And I was walking through like every water molecule in their head and their brain, and it was like I was like, wow, I didn't know I could do this with such, fine granularity and
Mhm.
such tenderness. And it's like I would love to do this more, like and have that greater spectrum of not just blasting out, energy and roaring like a dragon, but also like that 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 beautiful grace. Um, and you'll see this from me, right? Like I'm so used to being a lone wolf, and I know that 2024 is not a lone wolf year for me. It's like even today, like you saw me, like how I think I was sharing with you yesterday, rewarding people for referrals and loyalty points. I'm like working more with ways of like connecting with people in ways that are, and exploring them, that are more unconventional, and most importantly unconventional for me, like without just picking up a load of energy vampires, which I've done successfully in the past. I now want to like focus on building community with people that I that I can help and they can help me, like a more mutual service to each other. And you said it perfectly, that if I'm fine tuning what it is, what my skills and my abilities and my intention, then I'll attract like people that want to do the same.
Totally.
That's a great
Totally. And
gift.
I think, yeah, of course. And I think you also brought up another note that I forgot to share with you, um, from the Reiki session specifically, but it relates to this fine tuning. I think, um, I wrote, you have a lot of compassion for others, and you need to give some more of that to yourself. So I think that
Yeah.
relates to, the fine tuning, like as in understanding that you need to take those breaks and listen to yourself for yourself as well. And I know there's more depth in that to it, but yeah, that was really strong.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
to reflect those gifts inwardly and be so aware. Yeah, like as you were saying, I was seeing like even the adjusting this session today by 15 minutes, it made a big difference to me. Like it really, really helped me. And sometimes, fine tuning is as simple as that. It's like sometimes all it takes is 15 minutes. That's why it's
Totally.
not. That's why it's fine tuning and not like such significant shifts. And it might have been 15 minutes, it might have been 15 days, like whatever would feel right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I like almost knew that I wanted to push out the session for sake of, preparing for this and recapping on the other one. And I had this like level of resistance there, but then like someone was speaking to me, and it was like, no, Jon needs this too. Jon needs this too. And I was like, okay. So I sent the message.
Yeah, that's so kind. Yeah, I sometimes get those messages too, and it's like, um, yeah, and there's no right answer, just a balance, right? Like I love um that you're thinking of me, and yeah, I definitely needed it, especially as like as the universe would have it, as I'm about to return to work after 3 weeks. Like, and my work fear is probably at one of the highest levels it's been in a while. I've like it's not right now. Right now I feel amazing. Right now I feel so relaxed about telling my boss I'm leaving, and I'm excited. I'm really excited about the
Mm-hmm.
changes and that leap. Like for so long I was so terrified of the leap, and I know that I chose this experience, to stand on the edge of the cliff for what feels like 5 years. And like, why do I have to stand here for 5 years? Can I not just leave or not? Like, really, what's going to happen? How bad could it really be? Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it's my journey to help others, like to truly help them. I need to go through this myself, and not just talk about it. It's so easy when you hear people saying, oh yeah, I was like a gazillionaire and I owned the world and I gave it all up for this small paper cup. And you're like, how?
Right. Right,
um,
right.
uh,
Sticking to your truth.
yeah. So,
Yeah, that's beautiful. Um, Also, another, I don't know, have you been working with crystals at all?
yes, yeah.
Um, Black obsidian was coming up for vitalizing your soul purpose and
Mm.
grounding your soul.
Like,
But it black obsidian is a very um it's a it can it's a very powerful stone, right? It can be um it can be utilized for great things, but it can also like you have to be aware of your intention. Is that black obsidian?
yeah, it's an obsidian arrowhead.
Oh
Um,
no.
and so it's used when, sorry, um, it's just like giving me this flashback. So it's one of maybe the only thing I owned. I owned this in a past life.
Mm,
And it was, so you use it in psychic, physical, like kind of hybrid psychic physical warfare. So when you're in a battle and someone attacks you with a psychic weapon, uh, to to deal with the wound, I would use this obsidian to like cut out the whatever was stuck in someone, and sometimes it was physical, and sometimes it was like a spell that had been cast on the weapon that had been used, like an energetic poison.
mm.
Um, and a chunk of it broke off, of all places, at work. I always carry it around with me, but it fell out of my pocket one day and hit the like concrete ground and cracked. Um,
Mm.
and I forget that it's the only crystal I carry with me, and I
Oh my
always
gosh.
carry it with me. Um,
Wow. That's
and I
so
haven't looked at it in
cool.
weeks.
You haven't what?
I haven't looked at it in weeks.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, perhaps
That's
I should get it out and cleanse it. And
totally.
maybe I feel like, but I felt, I don't know if it's just like the kind of crystal collector in me, but I felt like as you're describing, I should work with it, that I should also seek a new one as well.
Yeah, totally. Totally. I could see that. I have a bag of crystals that I bring, like I brought to my this crystal sound bath I went for New Year's Eve.
Mhm.
Um but I so they're all cleansed and I make sure to bring them whenever I'm doing energy work. And today specifically I like dumped them out and I was like for before each session, before the one before as well. And
Mm.
like Black Obsidian immediately called to you. Like
Well,
this one I got this from my friend actually for Christmas this year. And
oh
it's
well,
just like a jar. And this one, like as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's it. That is it,
yeah,
And these ones as well. I have a lot of Black Obsidian.
oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, that's really beautiful.
And I felt like excuse me, I felt like what I was describing about warfare and battles, I was describing myself. Like as you're saying, John, you need to have this with you, and to work with it. Yeah, there's a lot of um, battles that go on energetically, and um, yeah, I felt more. I go through phases of using crystals, and I have felt like more drawn over the last few days, like to work with them again, and yeah, I feel like picking, sometimes I pick up those like small like attachments or cords, especially when I'm doing work with clients, and the black obsidian could really help just cleanse some of that and help with those wound healing.
Hmm. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's not a stone for everyone.
That's right.
It's got a lot of depth to it. So you gotta, it's for someone like you who's very aware of energetic shifts and whatnot. But
Yeah,
yeah, thank you.
it's like a little piece of hell that you carry
Right.
around with you. It's like,
Yeah, it really
um,
is. It
and
really is.
I often wonder why I wear a lot of black, and it's like, yeah, like I thought I was like one of these light guys, and like, yeah, but you also have to be you know, you have to be of the dark as well if you're going to, you know, balance both.
Totally.
But yeah, thank you. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, what incredible sessions. I'm just, how many Reiki sessions have you done? Like, or not the number that's as interesting as perhaps like how long you've been doing it.
Yeah, well, I was certified 2 years ago. I was certified to practice on people 2 years ago. And I got certified to practice on myself and my
Mhm.
second attunement within a month and a half of each other. So it was like really like this is what I'm
Fast.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I someone immediately asked me for a distance Reiki session like a week after I got attuned.
So
So
cool.
I was able to practice it right away. And then I've done only one in-person session. It was really, really cool. I don't have
Mm.
an actual space for it yet, so I'm offering to like go to people's houses.
Yeah.
Um, but you are and I've also performed like I've given Reiki to people just like not a full session, but just like straight to their heart, or
Yeah.
like my fiance's lower back was hurting, so I gave it straight to his lower back. Stuff like
Wow.
that. I've done that quite a bit as well.
Mm.
But you're my fourth distance session.
Oh, that's so cool.
So yeah,
Yay.
yeah, and my third one was just this morning. I also I thought it was really really cool and crazy that it ended up being today because for
Mm.
both of us, because she was planning for like she hit me up in November that she wanted a Reiki session, but January was when she was going to be ready for it.
Yeah.
And then she hit me up on the 4th and she was like, yeah, like I really, I'm ready for this. And I
Yeah.
told her I was going out of town to New York, and that I only had time early in this morning.
Mm.
And I also shifted you to today for me, the 8th for me, because we're
Yeah.
time difference. But
Mm.
108, 108,
That's right.
that's
Yeah.
the date today. And that's
Yeah.
a very significant number with abundance and spirituality and oneness. And, for
That's so
me,
cool.
like, yeah. And so I thought it was really, really cool that it both worked out to be on this date.
That's
um,
fabulous.
yeah. And then it's also the year 2024.
Mm.
So everyone has been talking about the 2 + 2 + 4, and that equals 8. So it's a year of abundance. So I thought it was no coincidence that it was on the 8th of the first month.
That's
So
fantastic. I really love
yeah,
that. Yeah, it's like
yeah,
whenever I write 2024, I always am guided to write more. It's like it's always more, more, more. It's like more of me, more of the things that feel right.
totally.
Well, I love those synchronicities. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, you're just you're for so few sessions, you're relearning it and reactivating your abilities so fast and
Mhm.
and remarkably calmly. Because it's a lot, right? It's a lot for I found it a lot for my brain. I learned all this just by I just was told to by Gaia. It's like, John, you've got to start doing these sessions with people. And it's like, what do I do? And she just said, so you're gonna like hold out your hands and you're gonna like send them golden energy. And I'm like, what? It's like, yeah. So and you're gonna book like two friends and you'll know who their names are, and they were both called Nancy. Book them in and just start. And that's how it all started. And I just had no training. No one told me what to do. I just kept learning with every session. And every session I just learned so much. And I really love that. But I know a big part of my journey is not just being self-taught. It's like it's learning, some of this is like ancient human wisdom, and then there's people like you who are just insanely gifted, and whatever you're taught, you'll eat it up like cookies, and then you'll just expand out to whatever you decide you'll do with it. And one of many
Totally.
things that you'll learn. And I see that as like, our human future, not just, the limitations of any individual teaching, but more the accumulation of all knowledge and all experiences.
Totally. Yeah. Really beautiful. Thank you for
Thank you, Whitney.
letting me hold this space for you, and it's been really magical. Every session we've had is so magical. I can't wait for, future stuff as well. Speaking of future stuff, I am really interested in your 8-week course. But yeah, like I said, I'll definitely have a more definite answer by the end of when I get back from New York. But I'm very interested in it. I'm also starting school, and I'm kind of teetering if I'm going to be full time or part time this semester. So, but I start on that Monday next in a week. So
Okay.
I'll know for sure by then,
Yeah,
So I need to like
that would be
balance my,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, it would
So
be an honor to have you in the class. And I feel like in the future versions of that course, I'll also do like just like a pure offline version that people can go through like a self-study.
mm,
And I feel like uh, as long, if you decide to join the training, and sometimes you can't make one of the sessions, like I see how hungry you are, and you'll invest that time in yourself at the right time. Um, and so yeah, I'll just leave the decision to you. But yeah, it would be fantastic. And
cool.
yeah, a couple of people have signed up, and I feel quite overwhelmed because they're such beautiful souls that I'm like, okay, no pressure, Jon.
Right,
um,
right.
it's
No,
it's so exciting.
I know how that is too, because I have this group Reiki session, and I've had like strangers sign up, and so it's like clearly something of it is calling to them, but I'm like,
Yeah,
whoa, I'm gonna basically embark in a stranger's energy, like
yeah,
we'll group collectively. So I totally understand. But one thing my Reiki master taught me is that, and it's always stuck with me, is that the same feeling you get for fear is the same feeling you get for excitement. So
yeah.
noticing,
It's so true.
that alignment can
Yeah.
help when you're feeling maybe a little anxious about something, like, wait, no, this is excitement,
I love
So,
that. Thank you. I like it.
yeah. Yeah. Well, that was a beautiful session. I think maybe let's close it off with this little sound bowl.
Thank you. That's a lot.
Okay.
It's always such an honor to be in your presence and in your energy. Thank you so much. I always
Yeah.
feel like when I connect to Judy before, it's like I just don't want to like disconnect. It's like that
Yeah.
beautiful energetic connection, and thank you for that honor. And yeah, thank you for your investment of time. And let me know how I can best thank you, like a testimonial, a video, like whatever you want.
Yeah.
Let me know. And if you would like any advice on things like setting up a free website so people can book you for Reiki, I know you've got your calendar, but if there's anything else I've used, like before I did my expensive website, I did like use Milkshake and stuff like that that were free. And I see some people even, have been doing it for years full time, and they still use these free sites. So I know it's all
Mm,
about energy and the beautiful content that you put into it, not the expensive platform like I use.
Totally, yeah. I would definitely be interested in some free website information. Yeah, I've been curious. That would be awesome. I feel like it would make me feel a little bit more grounded too. But yeah, I'll be sending you an email of recap everything that came up and what we talked about. My notes in general. And yeah, and there um I feel like do it maybe I'll sit with it a little bit more for testimonial how, but I think I'm gonna probably leave it up to you how you wanna, do the
Yes.
testimonial, whether through video or writing it. Um, but yeah, I'll write that in the email as well. So yeah,
Okay.
it was
Well, thank you so
it
much,
was a
and
beautiful session.
yeah, thank you, and good luck with your trip to New York. Hope you have lots of fun.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your evening and
Thank you.
enjoy some time with yourself.
Thank you.
Blessings. Talk
Thank
to you
you.
soon.
Sending love. Thank you. Bye.
Sending love.